Welcome to Talk of the Town. Thanks for watching today. I'm your host, Janet Cresson. We're starting out our episode today with some fun and games, and joining me is Brian Kowal. He's the owner of Misty Mountain Games. Thanks for coming on Talk of the Town.
Thanks for having me.
All right, so what is Misty Mountain Games, and what kind of games do you sell there?
Misty Mountain Games is a tabletop game store. We have a variety of board games, card games, collectible card games, miniature games, and role-playing games.
So mostly you said tabletop.
Yeah, but everything is non-electronic, like what you'd play with your friends and around a table.
Yeah.
For the most part.
Oh, my sister would love this.
Mm-hmm.
She loves those sorts of things. What do you like to think, what do you enjoy about games? What do you think they do for people?
The games, I think, are models to like teach people new ways of thinking or like training skills and just like basically like training your brain to do things better. A lot of people like games that strengthen things they already like, you know, like because they like winning. But I think like it's just as good to like try out games that you're less comfortable playing because it'll teach you better mental pathways in that area.
Isn't that true about so many things? It's the things that are uncomfortable that help you grow.
Yeah, definitely.
And funny, you mentioned thinking about things differently. My sister and I were playing a game recently, and I was looking at it one way, and she's like, no, you got to think about it as a process of elimination, not the way I was going. And I was like, oh, now it makes so much more sense. So it did exactly that. How hard is it, do you think, to learn the games that you sell there? Because sometimes that's a deterrent.
There's a pretty good range, but I think most of our stuff, if you just take some time to talk to any of the people who work at the store, we can get you started in any of the different areas that I named, like role-playing games like Dungeons & Dragons. A lot of people are like very intimidated about that game. But really, that game you almost don't need to know any rules because it's basically pretending to do things. Like I have parents who come in with kids and they ask like when the best time is for them to learn how to role play. And I'm like, they're probably better than you at it already because it's all about imagination. And kids are great at that, you know.
I like the idea of talking to your staff to get an idea on how to play the game. Sometimes you don't feel like sitting down and looking at a booklet full of rules, and that works for me to talk to people.
And we have a huge demo library, so there's tons of games we can just like pull out of the box and teach people right at the store.
You also have events at your store.
Yes, we have events every day of the week, every night. Most of them start around 6 or 6:30, but yeah, our biggest nights are like Wednesdays and Thursdays. We have a D&D night that is clearing 70 people every week now.
That's amazing.
Yeah, like 10 tables at a time of like D&D going on.
So can you tell me a few of the different events you have again?
We hold a decent number of Magic tournaments. Magic's a collectible card game. People build their own decks and play against each other. We have Dungeons & Dragons, which is the most popular role-playing game right now. It's kind of fantasy role-playing. You make a character and go through a scenario laid out by a game master. We have plenty of board games, like everything from Settlers Catan, King Domino, like lots of, just like, we probably have over 100 different board games.
So at these events, people show up and play games?
Yes. Yeah.
Okay, got it, okay. How do you think of gaming as differing from other forms of entertainment?
I think it's a little more engaging. It's a little less like watching something told to you and more about you're interacting directly with other people, ideally.
And maybe that key word there is entertainment. With some of the others, you're more entertained than engaged. Is that what you're saying?
Sorry, in the case of...
Well, just how gaming itself is different from some other forms or sources of entertainment.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, more interactive. It gets you more involved in what's happening.
Absolutely. Yes. Okay, now a question specific to Brian. What do you think is the best part about owning a game store?
Definitely teaching people new games and like opening them up to like something new that they haven't tried before. Especially, I think the people who come in who aren't gamers necessarily, and when you can show them something that like clicks with them that matches their interests and lets them explore it in a new way, that's the most fun to me.
Very good. Well, that does sound fun. Misty Mountain Games, you're on Cottage Grove Road.
Yes.
Absolutely. You can stop by and check them out, talk to Brian or any of his staff there to get some ideas or learn how to play a new game. You're watching Talk of the Town, and we'll be right back.